Hello everyone, hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today guys, I'm going to be showing you how to target farm any unique you want, as well as any ancestral bit of gear that you might be missing for your build. Because let's be honest, no one likes missing out on really cool bits of gear or bashing their head against the wall wondering why the hell they haven't got their drop. So if you guys didn't know, certain bits of gear have a much higher chance at dropping from certain groups of monsters. So what exactly do I mean by that? If you're really looking for a bow or wand upgrade, like ancestral bits or maybe even unique bits of gear that are a wand or a bow, you'd want to go out and kill ghosts, because ghosts have a much higher chance, I think it's like 5 times higher, to actually drop bows and wands. Which is just insane bits of information, because I see a lot of people complain that they can't get certain uniques, or they're just really struggling to upgrade any ancestral bits of gear they have. This is what you need to do. You can actually go and target farm certain groups of monsters to try and better your odds at actually getting those uniques that you're missing, or like I said, upgrading the ancestral bits of gear that you have. Alright guys, so there's 12 groups of enemies inside of Diablo. We're going to be going through them, breaking them down, and kind of going over what items they drop and what are the best places you can actually go to farm these items. Now we're going to go in alphabetical order. First up we have bandits. Now the item you're going to get the most from bandits is daggers and mace weapons. Now the best place to go and fight bandits is Moorwood. Moorwood is top tier, and then your next best bet would be Renegade's Retreat. But funny enough, when I was recording clips for this video, I actually got an ancestral unique. So clearly the formula works. Now next up we have Beast. Now Beast is pretty much everything that's an animal or wildlife besides snakes and spiders. They have their own category. Now if you are killing Beast, you're going to be getting chest, crossbow and one-handed swords more often. Now the best place to fight Beast is Alderwood, Whispering Pines and Feral's Den. Now Alderwood is easily S tier on this list, so if you're looking to fight Beast to try and get chest, crossbows or one-handed swords, Alderwood's your best bet. Next up we have Cannibals, and Cannibals are going to drop two-handed axe, one-handed axe and also helmets. And the best place to farm Cannibals is Earthen Wound being the best one, and Guran Slums the second. Next up we have Cultists, and they are going to drop you daggers and helmets. The best place to fight the Cultists, I bet you guys couldn't guess this one, is Cultist Refuge, and then the next best one is Conclave. So for anyone that's trying to go for that Harlequin's Crest, Cultists are probably going to be your best bet to actually try and get that ultra rare unique. You're not going to get it though. Next up we do have Drowned, and Drowned have quite a high chance of dropping a lot of different weapons. So you can get scythes, two-handed maces, pants and boots from Drowned. And the best place to farm Drowned is the overworld, like the main map, and then Ruins of Eridu. So next is Fallen, and Fallen have a much increased chance of dropping a one-handed axe and the Druid's Staff for the Druids. And the best place to fight Fallen is Demon's Wake. Next up we do have Ghosts. I did use Ghosts as my example for you guys. So Ghosts have a much higher chance of dropping bows and wands. Now the best place to fight Ghost is Earthen Wound, S tier, and Lost Archives. Next up we have Goatmen, and Goatmen are the same. They have quite a high chance of dropping a lot of variety of different items. The worst part is they drop the Sorcerer's Staff. So this is going to be a bit of a rough one if you're a sorcerer, but they do drop two-handed axes, one-handed axes, the Sorcerer's Staff, and also totems, which I suppose is another bad one if you're a druid. Now the best place to farm Goatman is Champion's Demise, S tier, and then Hoarfrost Demise as well as being your next best option. Next up we have Skeletons. Now Skeletons have a much better chance of dropping crossbows, shield and one-handed swords. Now your best place to farm Skeletons is Black Asylum and Core Dragon Barracks. Next up we have Snakes, and Snakes have a much higher chance of dropping two-handed polearms and one-handed swords. Now the best place to farm Snakes, like this isn't any surprise, is the Serpent's Lair, and then the other one, your next best option, is Witchwater. Got 2 categories left. Hopefully you guys are still with me. Hopefully I'm not boring you to death. Next up we have Spiders, and Spiders have a much better chance of dropping chest, focus items, gloves, and two-handed swords. Now your best place to farm spiders is Blind Burrows, obviously, and also Abandoned Mineworks. Now last but not least we have vampires. Now vampires have a much higher chance of dropping two-handed swords, bows, and wands. And the best place for farming vampires is Core Dragon Barracks. So now that we know what enemy type has a better chance of dropping what bits of gear, what do we do with this information? Well, for instance, if you're looking for a new chest piece, you're going to have to go kill Beast, and you're going to need to kill Beast in Alderwood. Now make sure that you are running through Nightmare Dungeons. It was recently announced by Joseph Pipiora on Twitter that sacred and ancestral gears have a much higher chance of dropping inside of Nightmare Dungeon than they do outside of Nightmare Dungeon. So if you're really looking for that chest piece, you'll just be farming Alderwood all day, every day, high Nightmare Dungeon. Now remember, you can have a chance of getting unique at the end of the dungeon, but I'm pretty sure that's RNG. I don't think that accounts for the enemy type that you're fighting. And then you have a much higher chance of getting any dedicated unique that you want through farming the correct type of enemies. I feel like this is a really good bit of information to actually have. It's going to make a lot of the grinding and farming for bits of gear and other alts and other characters inside the season and stuff a hell of a lot easier now that we all know that certain enemy types can drop certain bits of gear. Now we'll obviously leave a link to this list in the description below. I feel like this is just a massive cheat sheet as well for any new or casual player that's getting into Nightmare Dungeon, because now you don't have to go into the dungeon to figure out what enemy types are there. You can kind of use this sheet. If you're going to Earthen Wound, you're going to have a lot more ghosts there, so you can kind of plan accordingly. Maybe put the elixir on that gives you more damage to ghosts, etc, etc. So hopefully this video did help you guys out. Hopefully it helps you guys get those uniques that you're missing, because I know it's not fun when you see all the cool kids running around with their ice boots and you haven't got that yet. We appreciate all the love and support as always, guys, and until next time, stay safe. Peace out.